It's February 23rd, 2022. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, I listened to the story about the state of New York, the Attorney General. They seized some money, bogus charity. And then I'm thinking to myself, they have this big campaign. Like, when I was little, there was no such thing as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But I'm thinking to myself, Ukraine and Russia are fighting. I'm sitting in a state of New York I don't recognize. To the north of Ukraine is the Brest region of Belarus. Like, they push for mammograms and all these screenings for the women. Like, that's a weird thing. And then they've got this bogus word, B-O-G. For me, I see bog, B-O-G, and then the U-S. The man earlier said something about charlatan. I thought that was interesting, when it's paired with charity. Then I've heard on the rappers, they speak of this B-O-G. And I'm like, what the hell is an O-G? So then I had to look it up on Google, the whatever, MaxiPad internet. And it says it means original gangster. And I'm like, huh. And then it's got the us after U.S. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. And then I'm thinking, now is that like one of those legalized sending money overseas like themes, or is that, did they pay for something, the state, through some fund that they got going on? Again, is that like rent to stay here? I mean, it gets a little confusing, but here's who's involved. Myself not included. I'm just the one sitting here putting it all together going, I've heard of this breast cancer thing. In fact, whatever, Susan Coleman. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, for a good part of my adulthood, they've had this breast thing going on. And I'm like, all of a sudden it just dawns on me for tonight, out of all reasons.
Here's Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Charlesworth. Look at all of these big checks. Money reclaimed from bogus charity con artists in the name of breast cancer. The Attorney General's office went after them and has now given the money to legit organizations.
Our Charities Bureau
I don't know how they tell the difference.
Has an initiative named Operation Bottom Feeder, and that's what they are, bottom feeders.
This is money that will be used all over.
Really?
Long Island and in the 5 boroughs to get women mammograms and, if needed, treatment and support. These are 2 breast cancer survivors.
These are legitimate operations. Stuff hiding behind them.
Survivors.
If you feel something, say something. Definitely
All these programs, wherever the money shifts to, I haven't seen a dime of it. And in fact, I've actually been held away from the correct husbandry that I was built and born for at Sun, Moon, and Stars contract. And meanwhile, back at home, I'm stuck in some low-level nothing lifestyle, just trying to make ends meet and stay alive. And there's all of this thriving, doing well, getting educations, going to college, making big sports contracts. I mean, it's a wild world out there. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in some, what are they breeding us out? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's illegal in about every state, but I have no idea how the back end of this works, but thought I'd mention it while I saw it going
We have to
on
continue the conversations, especially in the Black communities, because we don't talk enough about
to make sure the legitimate operations are getting funded.
this. We need to talk about breast cancer, how it's affecting us, and know that early detection can save lives.
As a Latina, it's very important to me to be a fake.
So they make it a black operation and Latina. And listen to what she says, because this is the stuff that the seeds they keep throwing out there. Like, it's just every day. It's just to sit in this side of I'm not that. It's like, enough already.
Face of survivorship. Like the AG said, more white women will get diagnosed with breast cancer, more Black and Latinas will die of breast cancer. And
Is that right? I've never heard that one before.
again, that is also unacceptable.
Some of these programs reach out into the community to save lives by getting women diagnosed earlier. Then there's more help.
We provide transportation, we provide prepared meals.
There's a legitimate side to stuff. And then there's all of the rhetoric that they keep throwing out there, making it whatever.
We take dogs for walks when you can't, after your surgery, you can't take your dog for a walk, you can't take your garbage out.
There are so many resources that are providing free and low-cost screenings, not just for mammograms, but for all cancer screenings.
This kind of outreach literally means going out there and finding women who have not been able to get or have avoided getting a mammogram. And also, is this the first time you've heard of such a thing, flipping the script, turning the bad money into something so good? The Attorney General says this is also personal.
My mother had breast cancer, and she passed. And so it was important for me to do this press conference because it's really critically important that we use this money to lift up New Yorkers dealing with cancer and to save their lives.
In Midtown, Michelle Charlesworth, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
For doing that work.
Great move by Letitia James. Well, there's still much more news ahead. Eyewitness News at 6 begins right now.
It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. Oh, and there was also another thing that they put on tonight. Hang on, I gotta find. I thought this was really interesting. They have shades of gray tone.
North and west, but if you're looking for real plowable and significant snows, it's north of I-84. Brisk and sharply colder tonight, partly to mostly cloudy. 30 feels like 20s by morning.
There was a green cloud that was over Fish Island earlier today. Again, I don't have the legend to know what any significance is in the color coding of how they're whatever. But I thought the geographical reference based on a war going on somewhere I've never been in this day label is interesting.